thanks for joining Jeff and I today. Jeff, have you noticed outside how yellow it is?
It's hard not to.
Yeah,
I got a notification on my phone this morning that it's an orange warning, and I don't think I've ever seen that before.
no, it looks
Nor,
yellowish, but orange, okay.
yeah, I mean wildfires. I guess we're in wildfire season, and we didn't used to have this. Didn't used to be a regular recurring event each summer, but it certainly seems to be now, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. With all of the dry heat waves across the country, all over the world,
Yep.
we've probably got obviously have quite a bit of wildfires going on right now. Quite thick. You can
Hmm.
smell everything. It's not good.
No. So stay indoors.
Yeah, if you can help it. So today we're going to talk about I guess the excuse me, gas prices. And I went and got my gas. I guess everything surged last night about 8%. I went and filled up my tank, not knowing, after midnight. I went and filled up my tank this morning and I gasped when I saw the price. And I actually I had to get gas, so I went ahead and did it, but I noticed that the prices had spiked quite a bit. So it's interesting how things get spiked so suddenly, but then come down so slowly. And they call it, I guess, the economists refer to it as the rockets and feathers phenomenon. So why don't we go through? Oh, and I wanted to mention, of course, we know that there's the uncertainty in the oil markets, but also a big impact from the U.S. and Iran tensions. Why don't we go through some of the past prices and things of how it impacted oil from the U.S. and Iran
Sure. So
issue.
the day before the war in Iran started, the price of crude, Brent crude we're talking, was about $72 a barrel, and the average price for a liter of gas in Canada was about $1.42. It got as high as $1.98 per liter, and it's now pulled back to $1.67. All that is to say that since the war in Iran started, Brent oil prices have climbed about 10%. However, Canadian gas prices at the pump have jumped 18%. So we wanted
Mm,
to write about this just because, like, why don't they move in tandem? How come the Canadian gas price at the pump isn't up 10% like the price of crude? Why is it so slow to fall back down after crude oil prices drop? There's a couple of reasons. So why don't we start with why they're so quick to go up? And the reason for that is because gas retailers are far more concerned with their replacement cost for existing inventory. They're not as concerned by what they paid previously for the
mhm.
gas that's being pumped into the vehicles right now. So they'll mark the prices based on how much would they have to pay today to buy more inventory. So that's why they're so quick to increase the prices. And because if they don't, they might not have the cash to actually buy the inventory. This is a thin margin business, but believe it or
Mhm.
not, you'd be surprised. We didn't include it in the blog, but a lot of that price at the pump is taxes. So that's why they go up so quickly. Now, how come they don't drop back down in tandem? I guess that's more the psychological element. These gas retailers are playing a game of chicken with one another. It's not really that competitive, and so there's not really an incentive to drop the prices, obviously. And consumers are far less likely to shop around when the price is dropping. So I guess you could sum all that up to say, I mean, what's the incentive to cut your price?
Right.
And for that reason, they're slow to do it. But over the long term, um, they the market corrects for this kind of thing. Eventually, the prices do come down, but it's just very slowly.
Hmm. And not to mention, it's funny because consumers, I think, they feel they take it personally. It's almost like that, that retailer's gouging me, right? And they're not taking into consideration that it's actually impacted from global issues in supply and demand, rather than it's not a personal thing. And like you said, the stations are just trying to replace, factor in the costs of oil for replacing their inventory. So it's, yeah, but it's interesting how people actually, the consumers, believe that it's, why are the gas prices so high and things like that,
You
right?
sound like you're bitter from filling up your tank this morning, Sonny. We should also mention too, there's a supply chain here, so it's not like the oil comes out of the ground and right to the gas stations, right?
Yeah. No, and yeah, the supply chain takes at least like that's another thing to take into consideration. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks before any prices, the consumer will see any price change because they have to transport it. They have to purchase the oil, they have to transport and refine it into gasoline and then deliver it to the stations. So at that point, it's a 2 or 3 week lag, right? So all the previous inventory is still tethered to the old price, whether it's high or low, until the new inventory is replaced.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, for our clients, we have a couple of oil investments. We have two pipelines, which include TC Energy and South Bow, both of which have done exceptionally well. We also
mm,
own Suncor, which they not only own oil assets, but they also own gas stations through Petro-Canada. And then the fourth investment we have is freehold royalties, and we own that one mostly for the income. But I like the fact they don't take on any operating risk, and that dividend's covered right down to $50 oil. So
hmm
those are the four energy
yeah,
stocks we own. And I have to say, so far in 2026, I'm glad we own them because they've done
hmm
very well. So
yeah,
I guess we should, shall we leave it at that and
yeah,
we'll chat again next week?
yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jeff.